Trump says there's a process. Where is the line drawn on who will and wouldn't be considered for a pardon?
I think it's very simple. Look, if you protested peacefully on January the 6th and you've had Merrick Garland's Department of Justice treat you like a gang member, you should be pardoned. If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned. And there's a little bit of a gray area there, but we're very much committed to seeing the equal administration of law. And there are a lot of people, we think, in the wake of January the 6th who were prosecuted unfairly. We need to rectify that.
Okay, so that is JD Vance, who still is around, I guess. I guess he's around. He doesn't get to talk to Trump, or like he doesn't get to like play with the big boy toys and everything, but he's still there. And he came out and did an interview, and already the right is mad about him, about what you saw right there. Now we're gonna get to why they're mad at that. But to be clear, there were a couple of very funny things in that. So one, he said they've been treated like a gang member. And I just love that. They sacked the Capitol. That's worse than most gang member stuff. So for me, the only thing that could mean is they were treated like a black or brown person. These were good white conservatives, and you treated them like a minority. How could you do that to them? But anyway, so then he says, obviously, we're not gonna pardon those who did violence, which, good, that's reasonable. That would be a very reasonable, I mean, I would say don't pardon any of them, but okay. Especially not those who, took a Trump flag and tried to beat the life out of a cop. But then he's like, there's a little bit of a gray area there. Should there be? Like, you just said you're talking about the violent ones. Why would there be any gray area there? So that said, we don't even think that Trump, I don't think that Trump is likely to listen to Vance, because he's been very clear recently that he doesn't care how violent they were. He did his Mar-a-Lago press conference and he was asked, will you pardon anyone who attacked a police officer? And he immediately goes into talking about a beautiful young lady named Ashley Babbitt. She was killed, a MAGA person, but people don't give it 100% credibility. I'm gonna find out about it, and we're gonna find out. But Ashley Babbitt was killed, she was shot, should never have been shot. She was shot for no reason whatsoever. In fact, they say that she was trying to hold back the crowd. That's not, she was trying to go through the window. That's what she was trying to do. She wasn't single-handedly trying to stop the crowd. If she had, you wouldn't like her, because she would be stopping MAGA from accomplishing their mission. And the crowd is made up of a lot of different people, implying, well, but they weren't really MAGA people. It was provocateurs and stuff like that, who he presumably will also be pardoning. So we'll see, but I will tell you this, the person that was killed was Ashley Babbitt. So he's asked about the fact that multiple cops died and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens were hospitalized. And he goes on a rant about Ashley Babbitt and says, no, she was the one who died. So yeah, Vance can say whatever he wants. It doesn't seem like that's what the pardoning philosophy is gonna be based on. What do you think, Francesca?
Like when this happened, I knew that this was going to happen. I'm like, the fact, I just feel like if for those of us who witnessed Jan 6 / everyone, and if you were in a coma during that time, how'd you get there? And can you help me to as well do that for the next 4 years? But I think even just the vision, even just seeing how far the Jan 6 rioters were able to get was so clear that like this country does not see white Republican protesters the same way as they see brown, immigrant, women, queer people, all people, young people, climate people, people who don't want to be shot at, people who want civil rights, those people the same, right? We were coming off the backs of so much demonization of the Black Lives Matter movement. Then you have the violence that Trump, stirred up throughout the country, finally coming for Congress, and it was like, well, surely we can see these two things equally. But no, John, as we covered in the last, 4 years, it was nothing but Jan 6 rioters getting sentences and saying, literally, quote, I'm too white to jail. So they've always seen themselves as a part. And there was a fun little moment there where you were like, well, maybe they'll get like woke on, prison conditions. But instead they were like, no, I'm vegan, okay? Ew, what's that? And so they got special treatment. That's literally what happened with the QAnon shaman. So I feel like we've been waiting for this, but there is a distinction between those who participated in violence. And in fact, the DOJ has been doing that. They haven't treated people like thugs or criminals, so to speak. They've been applying the law. But again, MAGA doesn't feel like the laws should apply to them. And that is evidenced by bludgeoning Capitol police officers with gates and
100%.
weapons.
Yeah, I remember when Marjorie Greene was like, the solitary confinement's unacceptable, and I'm not gonna do anything to change the policy. That's at all. I want those people out of there, and then you can put black and brown people back into it. And then I will never return. I don't care. There's not gonna be any choral, tapes released on Spotify or whatever. Yeah, no, and we knew it when we said it. But anyway, as I said, some right wingers are very angry about what JD Vance said. One is Philip Nader. So he was arrested on charges related to the riot. He said telling your own supporters that the election was stolen and then not giving them a pardon or commutation after you sent them into what you call a Fedsurrection and trap is a betrayal. All of the J6 defendants must be saved. JD Vance is wrong, and I hope Trump will save his own supporters. But you guys all say that some of them are FBI and Antifa. Why do you want them to be pardoned? But anyway, another January 6th defendant, Samuel Fisher, said he better, or we will raise hell for the rest of our lives. So those of you implying that these people were committing political violence, you're clearly wrong. And to demonstrate that if they don't get what they want, they're gonna raise hell for the rest of their lives.
We'll do political violence.
Exactly. He said J6 defendants and family members are swearing vengeance on JD Vance if all the J6 defendants are not saved, and they are right to do it. So, okay, so you guys stormed the Capitol chanting that you wanted to kill the Republican vice president, and now he's not even vice president yet, and you're already saying we're gonna get vengeance against him if you don't stop charging us for wanting to kill your predecessor. It's amazing stuff. Any fast thoughts?
Don't worry. Good thing it's JD Vance. He'll change his tune in, I don't know, has he already done it? In 6 hours, to 48 hours at most. And he'll say, no, everyone should get off. Which, I mean, the last thing I'll say about Donald Trump's right. Ashley Babbitt should not have been shot because Ashley Babbitt should not have been at the Capitol because Ashley Babbitt should have not have been whipped up into a frenzy and lied to by, Zuckerberg's platform, Facebook, that allowed conspiracy theories about the 2020 election to, foment and stir and live there. And then was like, oopsies, once all these get radicalized Facebook moms and dads storm the effing Capitol over it. So yeah, the blood is on Donald Trump's hands. The blood is on MAGA's hands. The blood is on the Republican Party's hands squarely. Those police officers did their jobs.